Friends, it's Everything Mayer, episode 27. We're back. We're here. It's an exciting week. It's Labor Day. That's partially why it's exciting, but it's most exciting because we have what I would consider a new John Mayer song, Automatic Yes, with Zedd. But to kick it off, John, in his own words. John, take it away. Go for it.
If you've been waiting for me to go in the studio and come up with another album, I will say in parentheses that will happen soon. But until then, I've got something to hold you over. I just did a song with Zedd, who released an album called Telos, which came out today. The song we did together is called Automatic Yes. I think it's the perfect Friday night tune. Here it is now on Life with John Mayer.
We got to mute it so I don't get kicked off YouTube and have issues. But thank you, John. What an intro. And yes, Automatic Yes. It is hopefully holding us over. So we're going to talk about Automatic Yes, of course, on this week's episode. We're going to talk about a little insider information about that 9th studio record that I got. I can only tell you part of it, part of how I got it, because I don't want to implicate anyone who was there and cause any problems. But it's exciting nonetheless. And then we'll just this is kind of the excitement I was hoping for that I would have with some new John Mayer music. And like I said, I would put this in the category of a new John Mayer song. I want to start by saying I was wrong on the last episode. I was wrong at the recording of the last show. There was only a clip that I had heard. A very small clip is the first clip that came out. There was a subsequent clip that was released after that, which I began to realize how wrong I was, because what I said was I would be surprised if there was much more of a developed song than what we had just heard from that Mayer clip. And that's and I also, I don't know if I said this or just thought it, but I didn't think that he'd played guitar on this. I was wrong on both accounts. This is a straight up song, a fully formed song, and he plays some ridiculous guitar on it. I might have to do a reaction video separate from this show. Don't worry about why. It has to do with YouTube and copyright and everything else and demonetizing these videos, and I would like to try to make the couple pennies that I do off of these episodes. Speaking of making things off these episodes, if you would like to support the show, as always, we have merch, which is tagged here on the YouTube videos. You can send super thanks and things like that through YouTube if you so choose. And if you really want to support outside of just watching and listening all the way to the end and liking and sharing, join as a member, and you will get additional content and these episodes before anybody else. So that being out of the way, let's go back to how I was wrong. I really did think that this would not be as much of a John Mayer song as it is. I just assumed, by the nature of it being a guest spot, by the nature of it being an EDM kind of, dance mix kind of thing, that it wasn't going to be as close to what I would consider a fully formed song, rather than being just kind of a groove or some kind of repetitive sort of like memorable but in good idea, but just not a typical song. I was so wrong, and I'm so wrong on that I could actually see Mayer playing this song, like adapting it for an acoustic version, adapting it for a band. Do I think it's going to end up in the catalog? No, probably not. But that's how good it is. I could see that happening, or at least being possible. So first question to you all listening: what do you think of the song? Now, some of you voiced an opinion last week. Some of you have voiced opinion on that video and that episode since the song has come out, because it did come out a few days ago. I'm recording this on Labor Day today, so happy Labor Day to you. I am tired, mildly sunburned, and probably dehydrated. So from being outside a lot and not drinking enough water. Which I guess it sounds like I'm telling you that I was drinking a lot. It was not at all. It was just probably too much coffee and not enough water, and then being outside a ton. So hopefully you did the same thing but had more water than I did. But it would be I would be curious to know what you all think. There was some negative, some positive, some excitement, some, somewhere in between being really excited about like an actual John Mayer song versus being kind of disappointed that it's another side quest. So where do you fall on that spectrum? I at first was kind of like, cool, another collaboration. We've seen this before, on a few different things that we've talked about on the show, and they haven't been John Mayer songs. They've included John Mayer playing or singing or producing or a combination of the three. This time, though, it's a full-out lead vocal. It's a full-out song. It's got a great guitar solo tagged onto the end of it. My friend John Kaneshiro, check his channel out if you're a guitar player. He's already got the tone nailed on his Fractal. Was it the AFX 3? Is that little thing is? Yeah. So people are already learning the song in the guitar world, which is great. So it's cool. I think that has all the hallmarks of being an actual Mayer song. So I'm excited about it. I don't think it's just a side quest thing. I don't think it gets in the way of new music from Mayer. I think it's actually the stepping stone towards moving towards another album, which we'll talk about here in a moment. So what do you think? I like it. I think it's a really cool song. There's some interesting chord choices, some interesting rhythmic things in there. Of course, the guitar playing at the end is great. It's just got all the hallmarks of something that John Mayer has his hands in. And my biggest question would be, I would love to hear what Zedd sent John before John started writing over it. How much of the idea was fully formed when he got it? I would guess the groove, the beat, maybe some of the implied chords that are there were present, but I think there was a lot that John Mayer did for this song. Certainly the entire melody, certainly the lyrical content, I would think was the majority him. And then obviously there's a lot of guitar on this too, not just at the end. Put some headphones on and listen. You've got tons of fun little guitar things happening that John Mayer played. So what did you think? Now, I was actually, it was funny because went to Spotify to listen to the song, and as Spotify does, it rolled right into another song that Zedd had his hands in, and that was The Middle by Maren Morris, which I did not realize that he was involved in that song. So there's the connection too to Mayer. There's the Maren Morris circle. She sang on Last Train Home, yada yada. They performed together before, so kind of cool. Now, I did mention some insider info, which I'm not used to getting. I'm not used to getting any insider info because, I'm just a fan like the rest of you. I don't have any real close connection to the John Mayer world. There's ways, if I really, really wanted to or needed to get in there, I could. But I will reserve that for a time where that was actually necessary, which it probably never will be. But, they always say you're like, you're like 3 phone calls away from the president or something like that. If you really tried hard enough, you could use your 6 degrees from separation of Kevin Bacon, life, and figure out how you can get a hold of somebody who seems like they would be someone who could not be gotten a hold of. But that's how far away from the Mayer world I am. But I did get some information, and the information is probably not super surprising based on what we heard from John at the beginning of the show today, and then also things that he's been tagged in or posted on Instagram. He's always hanging around Henson Studios, which is kind of his home base, and he's there for a lot of different reasons. It's not just to work on an album. But it sounds like, and again, I want to be careful here because I don't want to just immediately tell you what I heard, but you can kind of read between the lines. It sounds like things are happening. Things are happening, moving towards that 9th studio record, as in maybe things are being written in a studio setting. Now, that is all I can say at this time because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. So, but that's cool though. So that brings up a few different points and things. If you're out there listening, you're saying, oh, cool, he's writing for a new record again. I mean, that's not a secret. I'm sure he's always writing for a new record, but this seems very intentional. So my question then is like, what has survived, if anything, of the new songs that we heard over the last 3 years? Are any of those going to make it? I don't know. Don't know. Those could just go into deep cut land for those of you who like those songs like Driftin' and In the Neighborhood and Why Anyone Has to Go, and so on. So I'm not sure. it really just depends on where he is creatively and where those songs do or do not fit. Because I don't see another record like Sob Rock that had kind of disjointed things on it as far as, Carry Me Away, I guess I just feel like, and New Light all being released and recorded as singles and then all being thrown into the album. We all know how people thought about that. I don't see that happening with this one. So I feel like those songs from the acoustic tour are kind of an outlier at this point. So unless there's one or two that he's really, really attached to or that fit on the wavelength of whatever he's going to be on for the 9th studio album, I don't see them coming in. Who knows, though? I recorded a version of Why Anyone Has to Go on my main channel and just kind of had some fun with it. So I would love to hear that one finished because I would love to hear what he would actually do with it and then compare that to what I did with it. So just for personal selfish reasons, I would love to hear a finished version of that. But do I think it's going to be there? Probably not. I don't know. But although I was extremely wrong last week, the last time I made some type of a bold claim on the show. So I'm making a bold claim now. And I may be wrong again. We just don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But nonetheless, Dead and Company at the Sphere, done with. Got a new John Mayer song out, Automatic Yes. Things are feeling like we're getting back to it. We're getting back to a point where you might get some new music, some new promotional appearances, and then eventually a tour for someone in the world, whether it's North America or beyond, I do not know. So that is cool. I'm excited about it. I have enjoyed listening to Automatic. Yes, it has scratched the itch for me for the time being. For some new Mayer music, particularly because he put the guitar solo at the end. So I have to listen to the whole song to get to that guitar solo. And then if I want to hear it again, and I don't want to cheat and fast forward, I got to listen to the whole thing again, which is super fun, super cool. And I am happy to be more familiar now with Zedd's music because he seems like a very talented individual, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, really, really cool. And obviously, if Mayer is willing to work with him, I think that's generally my rule, as we've talked about. If Mayer works with them, plays with them, or posts, hey, check this song out, or the song was really great, then I do trust his opinion on those things, and he has yet to steer me wrong, which is super cool. Thanks, John. Appreciate all the great music recommendations you have made indirectly or directly for all of us. So I hope everyone's doing well. We are at the 12-minute mark of the show, which is earlier than normal for the after dinner mint. But like I said, it's Labor Day. I'm tired. You're tired. We're all tired, I'm sure. School's starting again. Summer is ending. And this show might be shorter than normal. And that's okay. That's okay. But I will say, first things first in the after dinner mint. Thank you to those of you. And actually, I don't usually reference comments directly, but I'm going to reference this one because it actually got me to do the show tonight. Because I was I had a ton of other work that I had to do this weekend, and then we had Labor Day and all of the outdoor festivities that go along with that. So I was tired and I was not going to do the show. But then I read a comment from Bridget. Thank you, Bridget. You can take credit for episode 27 because you said, where is episode 27 yesterday? And mentioned that there is a great solo on Automatic. Yes, of course. And I do appreciate that because it was kind of the kick that I needed to do the show. So thank you. And thank you to all of you loyal listeners and commenters, because you are the reason I do this show. You're the reason it's in total. Yes, it was Bridget who kind of jabbed me into doing this and getting off my ass and actually putting out a show. But all of you inspire me to do it. So thank you for that. And I hope that this weekend was good for you. It was good for me. And we had a new Mayer song. I did not, as I had planned, I was going to listen to it outside because it's a good test of a song to see how it feels on a holiday weekend. I didn't get to do that though. I didn't have a Bluetooth speaker available. It just doesn't hit the same on a phone. So there's still time though. Works well in a car though. That's a good test. Do any of you do that? I still do that. A car if it's something I recorded or something that I'm listening to, the car test is always the ultimate test. Does it make you vibe and feel good in the car? Yes. Automatic yes absolutely does. It works really well. In a car. So that's a good sign for the song as well. Let's see. A couple other administrative things to tidy up here. Giveaway still coming. I'm working on the rules. Sorry, I'm not a lawyer. Got to make sure things are tight and tidy there. So it does take me a little bit longer on those things. Exciting stuff. I'll tease one of the things you're giving away is a guitar. So there you go. Make sure you're signed up on the email list, which will be in the description of the YouTube video. So that's all you have to do to be entered. Even though the rules aren't out, just be on the email list. I email once a month, just about stuff that's going on with this show, my main channel, maybe some of the Premier Guitar stuff. And that's pretty much it. Don't worry, you won't be spammed. But that's all. That's all you have to do to enter. And there will be more than one prize. There'll be more than one winner. And for the big stuff, again, unfortunately, you have to be in the US. I apologize for that. But there are ways for me to hopefully give some things away to people who are not in the United States. So stay tuned for that. What else do we have? Member live streams. Now, this is something that I have not kept up my promise on because part of the Born and Raised level membership is a monthly member live stream. So we are going to do that, I promise. But I need to figure out a good time to do that to where, because the idea is that some of you would be there live to talk to. Certainly you'll be able to watch it later as a member after it's been streamed. But I would like to do it at a time where people can actually log on and listen. And we might go live on the actual show too at some point. I feel like that is going to happen more so when Mayer's releasing actual, John Mayer branded new music or touring for the solo stuff. So that we may wait on that. But the you members, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your patience as I get everything kind of in a row, ducks in a row here. But that's coming as well. So with that being said, if you want to become a member, of course, you know how to do that right here on YouTube with the join button. It's a great way to support the show. If not, just listening through the After Dinner Mint, particularly on YouTube and also on any of the podcasting apps that you might be listening to the show on, is a great way to support the show. Please rate and review the show wherever you listen to it as well if it's not on YouTube, and I would appreciate that. So for the time being, that is all I have. I feel like I'm ending this like a Zoom call. Does anybody else have anything? No? Great. Perfect. Silence is golden. We'll end it on that note, and I will see you next week. Go enjoy Automatic Yes. Learn it on the guitar. Tell me what you think about it. I'm very curious to see. And until then, I will see you in the next episode of Everything Mayer.